Hi, my favorites. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this is Favor Fashion House, and in today's video, you're going to be learning how I made this dress. It's easy and simple. Okay, this is a circle dress, and it's also a gathers. The circle also has gathers. So this is what you love to watch. Please stay tuned to the end of this video, and please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. If you have any question, please ask your question. I will answer you. All right. If you have any part you did not understand, please ask. All right, so thank you guys for everything, for your support. So let's get straight into the video. So this is the fabric I'm going to be using. This is my Duchess fabric. I have 3 years of Duchess fabric and my pattern paper. So I'm going to be drafting at the basic bodice for the upper side. Okay, so the line I just mark out now is my shoulder line, also known as my starting point. So for my starting point, I mark out my bust line, my under bust line, and my waistline. I also connect the lines together, and the next thing I did after that was my neck depth. I used 3 inches neck depth, and the neck width I also use is 3 inches. So my shoulder measurement, I also mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2, and I came down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. Although all this we are still going to cut it up, but I'm trying to create a basic bodice. Okay, so after that, I'm going to connect the whole lines together, my neckline and also my shoulder slope. So the next thing I'm going to do is for my shoulder slope, I'm going to measure my armhole measurement. And how to get to armhole measurement is by dividing your bust measurement by 6. Whatever you have, you add extra 1.5 inch allowance. And that is how to get your accurate armhole measurement. Okay, so now I'm going to rule out my armhole line. So on my chest line, I'm going to input my bust measurement divided by 4. But before then, I'm going to find the midpoint of my armhole and I'll mark it out, and I'll go in by ½ inch. All right, so now I'm going to input my bust measurement divided by 4, my waist measurement divided by 4. All right, so connect the whole lines together. Next I'm going to be doing is my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. My nipple to nipple is 7 inches, divided by 2 is going to be 3.5 inches. So I mark it out from the bust line to the waistline. So for my shoulder line, I find the midpoint of that shoulder line. What I have there is 4 inches. Divide it into 2 is 2 inches. So you can see the way I connect it to the bust side. All right, so the folded edge, the side facing me, I'm going to go up by ½ inch. All right, on the under bust and on the waist side. But if you're very busty, you should go up by 1 inch. All right, then from the other side, that is the open side, I went up by 1 inch from both side. But if you are busty, you should use 1.5 inches. Okay, if you are busty. So I'm going to use my curve ruler to connect it to my bust point. Watch very close. You can see that I'm connecting from my under bust to my bust point. Even if you don't have a your curve ruler, you can still use your hands to do it. All right, so for my chest line, I went up by 1 inch. This 1 inch I'm doing so that it's not going to be too revealing. Okay, I don't want the chest side to be too open. It depends on what you want. If you want yours to be very revealing, it all depends on you. So the line that was connect to my bust, I'm going to go ½ inch on both sides. Then I'm going to connect it the way you see me doing in this video, connect it to my bust points. Okay, then the next I'm going to do is to measure what I have, which is 1 inch. What that line, that chest line, what I have there is 1 inch. I'm going to input it at the armhole side back. So now I'm going to take my bust measurement divided by 4. Now my waist measurement, I'm going to mark my waist measurement divided by 4, and then the allowance I took for that I'm still going to input it back, and I put my sewing allowance and I connect the whole lines together. And while cutting your pattern, please make sure you have extra allowance at the down part. After the waist, make sure you have extra allowance at the down parts. Okay, so right now I'm going to be cutting out the patterns. Watch closely so you can see the way I'm cutting it, so you won't make any mistake. So after cutting it, I'm going to be joining it together this way, the way you see me doing in this video, and I will use my taping marks to tape it down. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to create that curve. Alright, that curve we're going to have on the waistline. So I'm trying to create it. So now I'm going to label under bust, waistline, and bust line. So from my under bust, I came down from my under bust, I came down by 1 inch. Then for my waistline, I came down by 1.5 inches. All right, for my underbust I came down by 1 inches. For my waistline I came down by 1.5 inches. You can see the way I'm connecting it. Connecting it from my waistline to that 1.5 inches that I came down. If you want your own curve at that waistline to be very very obvious, you have to leave more allowance. Okay, you can come down by at least 2 inches or 2.5 inches depending on how you want it to be. All right, so this is how. After that, I'm going to cut out the piece. So if you don't understand that part, you can rewatch it and understand what I'm trying to say. So now I'm trying to cut out the back pattern. It's just normal, like just normal basic bodies. All right, it's just normal basic bodies. I'm trying to cut it out. I mark out from my shoulder to my bust, from my shoulder to my waistline. So I'm going to do the same thing. My neck width 3 inches, neck depth 1 inch, my shoulder divided by 2, and my armhole, everything. Okay, so guys, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my videos, comment, share my videos. If you're a new subscriber, you are highly welcome. If this is your first time coming across my channel, you are highly welcome. Okay, please do not forget to subscribe and also turn on your notification bell so you get notified whenever I upload a new video. Guys, if you have any question or any side you did not understand, please comment on the comment section. Your comments means a lot to me. Okay, your comments gives me energy. Please comment, like, share. All right, it motivates me to do more. Okay guys, I love you guys for your support. I love you guys so much. May God bless you all. So now what I'm doing next is I'm marking out my horizontal measurement. Then I'm going to be creating my dart 3.5 inches. I connect it from my waist to my bust. Then from both sides I'm going to go out by half inch from both sides. I want to cut these darts on the paper, so I don't need to start cutting it on my fabric. Okay, I don't know if you understand. I want to cut on my paper, so I don't need to cut it out on my fabric. So now I'm going to input my waist measurement divided by 2. Then I will take that 1 inch that I mark out there for the dart. I'm going to input it back and add my stitching allowance, and I'll connect the lines together. So next I'm doing is to connect my armhole measurements. Okay, after connecting my armhole, I'm going to cut it out. So this back I'm going to be cutting it on the chest line, which is like the armhole line. Okay, that is why I'm going to be cutting it out. You can see what I'm doing. First I'm going to cut it out as normal basic, then I'm going to divide it into 2. So now this is my zipper side. I just have to indicate it. So from my waist side, from the waist side I went in by half inch, then I connect it to the top. So why I'm doing this is to avoid any bulging at the back of the waist, so it will help everything to relax well. So from this side you can see what I just mark out quarter of an inch just to connect it straight, okay, to the other leg, to the dart leg. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So this is just how I did it. All right, because I'm going to be cutting it out on the pattern. I'm going to be closing it on the pattern paper, so we don't need to start joining the dart on the fabric. So now please, why once you cut out your piece, this curved side, try to indicate it so that you know where is the upside. Both of them are curved, so you have to indicate, so you have to know where is the upside and where is the dance part. So I'm going to be cutting it out. I'm going to be adding half inch all the way around. Please make sure you're cutting it on the fold. Okay, make sure you're cutting on the folded side, please. So now the center of the front, the center, I'm also going to be cutting it on the fold. I'm going to add a half inch all the way around also. This side I did not cut it on the fold. Okay, I cut it separately. So I'm adding half inch allowance all the way around also for stitching, for joining them together. Okay. I also did the same thing for the back. I cut out the back, and I also used the same fabric. I used the same Dutchess fabric as my lining. So you can see at the back, you can see that I closed it. All right, that's why I was saying I want to close it on the paper first. So I'm going to be cutting wording for the front, for the center front and the side also. The one I'm using here is light wording. They have thick one, they have light one, but I'm using the lighter one. Okay, so I cut for the center, I'm also cutting for the side. So I'm going to be ironing it together. I'm going to be gumming it together with my fabric. Then the next thing I'm going to do is, after joining it together with my fabric, I'm also going to iron the back. So now I'm going, the what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to mark out the design we have at the front. So this is me cutting it out. The length I use is about 26. That is the length I use. Okay, the width that I use, I mean, but the length of it is 9 inches, but I ended up cutting it to 7 inches. All right, so I'm cutting it out now because I also want to gum it. I want to add a hard gum, hard gum stay. It is called gum stay here. So I want to add gum stay to it. So this is it right here. So I want to add it because the fabric is very light. So I want that place to be kind of thick. So that's why I'm adding my thick gum stay. So after adding it and also gumming the bustier parts, so this is me pinning it together so I can stitch it. All right, I'll pin it together with just half inch. Then I'm going to stitch it, go to my machine and stitch it. I'll do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to measure what I have. Okay, the way you see me doing on this video, I'm going to measure what I have. Then I'm going to measure it on my design. Okay, the design I'm going to be using for the front, I'm going to measure it. So what I'm going to, at first I wanted to use 8 inches. Yeah, I wanted it to be 8 inches, but I ended up using 7 inches because that 8 inches was so high when I tried it out. So I ended up using 8 inches for it. So you can see the way I gum it. I gum the gums there and I fold the two side. All right. So this is the strap I'm using. The strap I use is just about 12 inches. Yeah, for the strap. And this is the back. I also went ahead to put light gum there to it because the fabric is really soft. So for the front, after joining it together, this is me trying to input my stripe. Okay, so you can see the way I'm joining it at the bustier part, that place I joined the bustiers. So I'm going to pin it together with the lining. The stripe is going to be inside, it's going to be at the center. Okay, then I'll cover it up with the lining, I'll pin it and sew it all the way round. So after stitching it, this is how it's looking. So I'm going to measure from one side of my strap to the armhole side. I want to measure what I have so I can also mark it out on the back side, so I know where my strap is going to be at the back. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. I measure from one strap to the armhole so I can identify where the stripe is going to be at the back. Okay, so this is me trying to join it with at the back. So when you're trying to join your stripe, make sure you check carefully so it will not fold one side. So after joining it, then I'm going to be using the lining to cover it up the same way I did for front side. Okay, so after doing that, this is how it is looking. Everything is coming together, looking so clean. So the next I'm going to be doing right now is for us to put our design. So for this design, I did my own method, or should I say my own design. I did printing, but if you don't want to do prints, you can do gathers. It depends on what you want. But me, I want mine to be printing. So from the starting from the side, you can see I left some allowance on fold. Okay, I left some allowance on fold because remember I'm going to be joining it together. So I left some allowance on fold. Then I start printing. So I'm going to be printing it. I'll do the same thing on the other side. I left some side on fold. Then I will continue printing. Like I said earlier, if you don't want to do printing, you can do gathers. So it totally depends on what you want. Okay, so look at how mine is looking. You can see what I did was printing. So now this is the down part. Now I'm going to find the midpoint of the upper side. I'm going to notch it. After notching it, the down part, I'm going to join it together. The side that need to face up, I'm going to join it that way and pin it. I'll join the second one, which is the lining, on beneath, okay, under it this way, and I'll pin it together and I'll start stitching. While stitching, make sure that you are getting the lining. Everything is aligned together while stitching. You stitch it to give it a very good press. So after doing that, this is how it is looking so clean. So you can see the rough edges is inside. All right, so the next thing we are going to be doing now is to close it with our body measurement. While closing this, make sure you are using your body measurement to close it. Okay, so I'm going to be closing it right now with our body measurement, our bust divided by 2 and our waist divided by 2. So now for the down part, we're about to cut the down part. So I'm going to fold the two edges together. The remaining fabric, I'm going to fold the two edges together. Then I'll fold it again in a triangular way. Okay, I fold it together, the two edges. Then I fold it in a triangular way because I'm about to cut. This thing is a circle skirt. The down part is circle skirt, but it's also gathers. All right, so I measure what I have for my waist. I added extra 4-inch allowance. I measured what I have from on my waist. I added extra 4-inch allowance. Then I mark it out. Okay, I think the total I used there was 12 inches. That is what I use. So now after marking out that 12 inches line, I started from the top to make sure that everything is aligned together to give us that curve. I start measuring it. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. After marking out the 12 inches, all right, by keeping my tape straight, I mark out the 12 inches. The next thing I did was from the top, I was just measuring from the top to that 12 inches. Whatever I have there, I continue to measure it all the way round. So the next thing we're doing from the waist to the length. From the waist to the length, not from the top, but rather from the waist you measure to the length you want. Okay, after that we're going to cut it out and we're going to notch the center. So after doing my gathers, this is how it's looking. This is me doing my gathers. Yeah, so it's a circle skirt and also gathers. So I'm going to measure what we have from one side of the zipper allowance to the other side of the zipper allowance. Our round waist, so I'm going to measure what we have. I'll measure the gathers to make sure that it's the same length. Then we join it together. So I folded my skirt into two to find the midpoint. I also folded my dress into two, my top into two to find the midpoint. I'm going to notch it, then I'll join the down part together with the front and start stitching it all the way around. And after that, the next I'm going to do is to insert my zipper and close it and hem the down part. Then everything is ready. Our dress is ready. So guys, please, if you have any question, if you have any part you did not understand, please ask your question. I always beg, please ask your question. Okay, please ask any question. Like my video, subscribe. Okay, God bless you all.